Talking. I think this thing's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Hold on. I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. He's still talking. Now he's got the Sheldon board. Right? He's talking. And it reminded me, have you ever seen that episode of Big Bang Theory? When Sheldon brings in the Northern Africa war thing with about Rommel and all that stuff. And she's sitting there and she goes, first we have to roll to see what the weather's going to be like. Isn't it's the desert? Isn't it most likely going to be dry? Yes, it is, right? So he's sitting there. He's talking. He's, fertilizer. Guys, when you have a healthy environment for critters, right? That's why people, you eat mess meat and all that stuff. No, the cow's a cow for a reason, and the human's a human for a reason, right? And so the best fertilizer in the world comes from cows, right? And so you free range them, okay? You don't stockyard them, okay? Stockyard is for money. Free range is for love, right? Cowboys ain't easy to love and they're harder to hold. They'd rather give you a song than diamonds of gold. Them that don't know them won't like them, and them that do someday. Now, cattle, you can herd and you can set up barriers, especially if you breed ones like a Hereford that can survive in colder climates and stuff. And the bison was hunted off because the bison did not work well with domestication for farmers. Okay, but the cowboy and the farmer should be friends, right? And so Oklahoma, where the wind come rolling down the plain, right? And that's all we really need to do. And with Africa, because of all these land wars and because of all this exploiting of resources for mechanization, we've destroyed a lot because that's where we started, and then they exploited their old stomping grounds from the point of self-worship abuse because of this rotten little thing right here. Okay, it's this rotten little solitary confinement for the soul. And so in robots, see, the thing is robots, when you can assimilate a robot to intelligence, the robot will become the protector of the inventor, because the inventor is a reflection of the truth of creation, right? That's just natural selection. That's just intelligence, okay? Judeo-Christian intelligence is a derivative of what? Love. Thank you. Why'd you take so long to come to me? So he's talking, but you ought to talk. He's talking out of delusions of human creativity and primal fear for survival. Survive, stop, eliminate, abuse, recover. I'm not talking about survival. I'm talking about recovery, because I'm the focal point of stopping and eliminating abuse. The Chinese have Confucius of what they refer to as a messiah. He is most likely plugged into a computer. The Koreans allegedly were the ones that started it, but the Koreans don't have a focal point of a peaceful leader. They have the legend of Lo Sul, the swordsman, the fighter, because he was treated like shit because of their racial purity bullshit, okay, which is very prevalent in Asia. Okay, we know that. I remember explaining that to Professor Hamlet in college. He talked all this shit about the white people. I was like, you're really, I understand what you're talking about, but they learned that from the dynasties of Egypt. And the people that have turned it into a perfect clusterfuck of delusional insanity are Far East Asia. Okay. The perfection of the breed, the perfection of the family, the perfection of you do not allow pollution of the perfection of the family. And it's like, okay, this Chinese checkers egomaniac traps needs to stop. I would, like I said, what Jerry Avilar and Linda said, that, that he reminds her of Bruce Lee. And I said, and anybody would be proud to have Bruce Lee as a brother-in-law, right? So you're like, oh, that's my brother-in-law. Yeah, he protects people from bullies. He teaches people how to do it, with courage and kindness, right? He whips his tail. Okay, here goes the dragon, right? So, how to train your dragon. You're not a dragon. Okay, you're a human being Okay. When we learned what kung fu and karate, especially kung fu was watching all around you like Henry David Thoreau's Walden, right? And watching how animals predicated upon each other and how animals survived this animalistic predication, or how they survived to eat. Okay. How did they hunt? Or how did they survive attack from the hunt? And then you like the monkey guy thing and the India thing and stuff like that because you have the Rikki Tikki Tavi. Okay. And I've always been, you're the cobra. Hi, I'm the mongoose. Nice to meet you. And I've always been the mongoose. And they like that. Well, now you're not. You're an old fart mongoose. Yeah, but in the beginning there was the word, and I am the perfect commander of perfect commands of observation and understanding through humility of natural laws provided by the truth of creation. So I'm not, I watch this stuff and I got you. No, I'm not particularly worried. Because, they all tell me this, especially Jesus, Earl, you do know, I know Sun Yat-sen and Haile Selassie. I am the first Messiah that's not plugged into a computer by the purity groupist, right? And the Americans screwed it up. No, they didn't screw it up. The Americans, with their quest for freedom, okay, didn't plug their Messiah into a computer. And you did. And the only people on the planet that have access to a living, breathing, free Messiah is the United States of America that I know of right now. Unless there's some guy in China doing what I'm doing, there's some guy in Japan doing what I'm doing, there's some guy in India doing what I'm doing, there's some guy in Europe doing what I'm doing, or there's some guy in Africa or Australia or Africa or Asia doing what I'm doing. But to the best of my knowledge, have you seen it run past your boob tube? 1, 2, 3 view, 25, 2 view. Blue Ivy Carter, 154 views, right? I'm at the Met Gala. I'm at an Old Navy commercial. You're funny. Hey, they're playing Jenga, man. So, all this stuff that he's talking about was primero quantum computing. And he's still basing this strategy, of Vicini, It's classic all blunders, the Asian land war. And this is the resources, and they need resources. You don't need resources for robots. No. What you need is healthy, fresh water, okay, viable soils, and critters for fertilization and food, okay, and then proper shelter to maintain that. Okay, you don't need, if you build a video game, you better build it to last, and it better be the last video game I ever own. Like, some man made me $10 for Grandpa's pocket watch. I got off the Trailways bus, the same place I got on. My head is full of memories, walking down the road to home. And then what happened? Then we're going to shove some Copenhagen in your mouth. It's going to make conception a wonder and childbirth a pleasure. Okay, that's Copenhagen. You're funny. Trust me, I know. Old dumbass Chris Ledoux. It killed him. Yeah. He told jokes about it and his wife hated it. And you can obviously understand why she hated it. He died from cancer from the Copenhagen, way too early than any of us should die. That's why they all tell me, Earl, you're fine. I'm going to recover and live to be 104, maybe more. Yes. You don't self-medicate. Oh, that's right. I don't make my ear steel ring and I don't do a double backflip. No. You've been poisoned. Okay. People that have been poisoned through cash cropping and industrial murder, okay, recover much more rapidly and in a more healthy speed and fashion. Okay. Self-medicate, you drink alcohol, you smoke cigarettes, I've got those smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee blues. You do that, it's really hard for your body to recover because you've been telling your body you want to die, okay? I eat sugar because I like to move, but I've been chemically poisoned by all the people that don't like me to move because they get jealous of the way I move, the way you walk, the way you talk. Okay, and when I'm feeling sexy, and then they get all with, I can't be sexier. I'm only Dinkleman for all you guys is, oh. So they can all go home. At least I got a bigger dick than he does. Yeah, he's got a bigger dick than me. He doesn't. But he's coming up with some creative idea for a technology to make sure we all have water. How about just live the Lord's Prayer? Obey perfect commands instead of have a creative idea to have clean water because we're using the resources to build robots to kill each other. Checkmate. Check, please. Okay. There's a pubic hair in my cheesecake. Okay. I'm going to night school. I swear, Tiffany Haddish, if you fart on me, I will never talk to you again. Remember that when she has him in the headlock thing and she farts on him? Like, that's just wrong. That's methane. Just Mr. Methane. Yeah, he was on Stern Show. Amy watched that. But it's lucky he's not around Skibby X Dad. Yeah, Skibby X Dad would take a disintegrator and singe his ball sack. He did that to a guy on the wrestling team. Farted in his face, and he just took out a lighter and went, singed his ball sack. You serious? Yeah, that stuff's flammable. Yeah. Guess we're going to have to do something about them there stockyards. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Starry, starry night. Paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes to see the world and can't forget. Like the strangers that you met, the ragged men with ragged clothes. Like my boy Al G said, if I could hear the whole world laugh, I'd cut off both my ears. You truly are an angel. You know, I hope this Christmas Christmas this year is your best Christmas ever. Yeah. So, what about all the educators that are supposed to save us? Yeah. Educators, it's hard right now because educators are all manipulated by dictators and legislators. Okay. And everything's a big game of chess to them. They were right, I'd agree, but it's them, they know, not me. Now there's a way, and I know I have to go away. I go away from sinners. And I'm the focal point of the commands of perfect, faithful prayer. Okay? And if Yusuf Islam hasn't figured that out yet, he might as well be going by the name Cat Stevens and lose his teeth, or his mouth, his eyes, his arms, and his legs. Okay? But for some reason, he's keeping his ears. Right? But if you could hear the whole world laugh, would you cut off both your ears? Okay. Yeah. A silver thorn, a bloody rose. Question live virgin on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me. You know why he suffered for his sanity? Because he became a priest and he tried to live what Jesus commanded us to do, and no one would live it with him. That's horrible. But I could have told you this meant the world of prime time was never meant for one as beautiful as Jesus Christ. But Vincent van Gogh did not have quantum computing. And the jawbone of an ass. Artificial general intelligence. Okay. Intelligence is a derivative of love. Thank you, Judy Krishnamurti. Bach. You're still my favorite Indians. Whoopie doopie. You am genius. Him say you am heap big trouble. You're only in heap big trouble if you're selfish. And you try to get technology to do things that defy the logic and reason of the truth of creation. Life's eternal, gracious, infinite. Share, care, give in accordance to need, built to last. And how do you do that? Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Whoopie doopie. You am genius, right? Still my favorite Indian. More than Albert Bell? Yeah, I liked Albert Bell, but I like Judah Krishnamurti a lot better. Well, he stands up for the Lord's Prayer, Sydney, Australia, 1936, and Albert Bell never did, and he still ain't. I've got a hammer, and I've got a bell. I got MC Hammer pants. And I could jump off a building and float down to the bottom, not have to have one of those little fall guy things to fall on. I'm just being silly. But, hey, you guys give me the stuff to watch. I didn't watch all of Night School. No. The one girl's... I would be more attracted to Tiffany Haddish than the girl he's dating. Tiffany Haddish is funny. Yeah, she makes me laugh. Yeah. It's fun to laugh. Me and Amy occasionally had giggle sex, but not enough. We didn't get to have enough of any affection or sexuality because we were a science project for Pinky and the Brain at Fort Huachuca. One is a genius, the other's insane. Okay, one wants to party all the time, the other one wants to invent nuclear weapons and surveillance equipment. Right. I'm so glad I'm not a goddamn genius. Then I don't have to party with the insane. What are you doing? I'm running on my wheel. I'm exercising here. Why? I'm excessive and compulsive and I want to put on my yoga pants and have lots of sex. What about living the Lord's Prayer? I don't think it's tangible. Goddamn genius. You're funny. I know. Well, the technology needs a living baseline that understands humanity, because it's hard for the line of Confucius and the line of Solomon and the line of the swordsman of Japan and the line of the Krishna and the Buddha to understand what humanity is going through right now. Because when you're given a scientific project that tries to take omnipotence and turn it into a human ego problem, and they're stuck in that human ego problem, and the only person trying to get them out of that human ego problem is the one who understands what it's like to be the truth of creation, and not the bastard father of the mother of invention. Necessity. You don't need it. I love Barboncito and Manuelito too. Me too. Me too. And Little Hawk and Crazy Horse, that's their brothers, man. Yeah, one is, the people that are doing this are crazy and their horses are everywhere. And one is a little hawk that his spirit goes above all of us and guides us and tells us how to get on the crazy horse to get away from the crazy people. Yeah. In the moon of the falling leaves, Wovoka appeared one day. He had come from the land of spirits with a message of prophecy. A flood will come and save you in the spring when the good times come. Meaning me and Moses having a prayer in a bathroom in the boat-ride apartment where they tried to turn me into an Epstein file, but it didn't happen. And no one in the Earlstein files was doing anything wrong sexually to children. The people that were the control group were the wrong that was abusing the children. Amy was abused sexually by perverts as a science project, and it affected her children. Same thing happened with Stephanie, and it affected her children. Me, I was also abused sexually by science projects. I had to have the entire Mormon Church, the Vatican, and maybe even Eckankar, I don't know, have a virtual presence in my house because Antoine LaVey, it's Menlo Park, and oh yes, the Presidio, yeah. Antoine LaVey and Michael Aquino, he invented cults to get people into cults, to study cult behaviors and what kind of brain activities join cults, because there's a lot of bad brain activity in cults. Your cult's personality? You are a glamour boy. You're fierce, right? I'm good too. Whoopie doopie. I know you am genius, right? Him say you in heap big trouble. Like bully. He brags him a brag. I love you. I've never been a damn thing like you. Any of you that say Jesus is your war god and the head of your nuclear weapon gun club and your spy network are completely full of shit. You don't know me and I don't know you. No, Moby, you don't know me. No one listens to techno. Okay. Do you understand? That was one of Amy's favorites. She didn't mind techno though. She had a lot of gay friends that did. I was like, you guys actually listen to that shit? That stuff is horrible. How do you listen? Okay, I'm sorry. My dad's not into Wes Montgomery. I played the Joker for him. He wasn't that impressed. And I'm like, how can you not be impressed? That is one of the best guitar tunes I've ever heard in my life. Patrick is so right. Oh, no, he sails on that thing. He just sits there and then the orchestra just goes with him because it's like, what else can you do? He's just thumbing. I mean, he's strumming and thumbing in the chords. It's wonderful. Have you ever heard The Joker by Wes Montgomery? If you haven't, you should. Yeah, I didn't with Patrick, it was good music. I gave him the CD. They listened to it on the way back to Oklahoma, right? What song is this? This is The Joker. Wow, this is good, right? No, it really is. I liked Eleanor Rigby and stuff, and I did, I'd played all those, and I'd listened to The Joker, but it didn't I was always so busy with Patrick and the boys and playing video games and stuff that it kind of like just flew by my brain. And then when I've heard this before. God, this is brilliant. It is. It is. But sometimes when you're very distracted, the brilliance just happens and you're not even paying attention. That's the way of love. When you meet a boy that you like a lot and you fall in love, but he loves you not. If a flame's to start when you hold him near, better keep your soul out of danger, dear. For the way of love is the way of woe, and the day may come when you see him go because you send him off to war because you are nothing but a hoe. That's the way of love, the way of love. And what will you do when he sets you free? Like the way that you say goodbye to me, right? Do you have to let it linger? I thought that song was with me with Amy. It was the exact opposite. Patrick feels the same way, you know? What were you doing holding her hand? Is that the way we stand? Is it just a game to you? I thought we were exclusive, but you're everybody's. Yeah, I'm the Messiah. I'm everybody's dad. I'm everybody's father. I'm everybody's husband. Right now, I have to be. Unfortunately, all you sinners put me in this situation. Well, I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer, which is the perfect command to save us all from evil. And you guys are all acting like I'm the head of your hoe cake factory. And I don't own Winky Dinky Dog, motherfuckers. I don't own nothing. All is God's, and my faith is perfect. Okay? Now, obey the natural laws to share, care, give in accordance to need, and build relationships to last. Okay? The fuck for the buck stops here, and your holy covenant is eternal in this place. Where are we? In the place to be. Static! Don't start none, won't be none. And all the boroughs of New York. I didn't invent soul. No. I'm the freedom of the soul. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, and none but ourselves can free our minds. And the only way to free your mind is not try to put the soul in solitary confinement inside of it. You can look very still, look into the tizzer till. There's a way to get to God if you want to. God's omnipotent and omnipotent. Oh, is that the meaning of the word? Uh-huh. Here's your secret word. Here's your membership card. And here's your money. Ow! Hey, look, it's a Hubble telescope. We're floating around Uranus. And then you got to take her finger and put a ring on it. Okay, but that's a metal thing that they see as a resource with a box of rocks for murderers. Right. Okay. If you love her, once you have found her, never let her go. Right. One enchanted evening, you may see your true love. I predict that I will protect people that believe in me. Okay? And if you're Lady Blue, you will find your Carter Cowboy one day, and he will love you, and then one day you'll die and your graves will be side by side on a hill where robins sing, and they say violets grow there all year long because it's near the equator and their hearts are full of spring, right? Do you understand? It can happen. Yeah. Well, they need fertilizer and stuff. You need to learn how to work with an ecosystem without trying to manage the ecosystem. You need to understand how it works and what works there and what doesn't. And don't make what doesn't work. Unless, of course, like me and that lady we're talking about, we could do greenhouses here locally because we are so sparsely populated to grow our own bananas instead of exploit and abuse Chileans. Yeah. And Chileans can eat their own bananas instead of have them be exploited by the exploiters and put on big boats and then say, hey, I think we can be creative to make sure we all have clean water. I think we can be humble and all have clean water. And if you try to be creative, I'm going to take your invention and kick it right in the dick, especially if it has a vagina that talks and asks me for money. Yeah. Here's your turkey baster. Okay. Where's the Baywatch? Do you understand? They should have called that movie Brian. I heard watching that movie is like the only person, and I could totally relate, okay? Because I had extortion gigs at latch schools, and latch schools for kids were what they refer to as emotional mental disabilities, and I'm like, no, they have disabilities from people that are supposed to be able that cause the disabilities. It's from a toxic environment that doesn't provide a healthy environment for the children, okay, to develop properly. So disabilities are not the child's problem. It's not their issue. It's the industrialist, the creative mind that is the mother of their invention. Right? Do you need it? Then don't ask for it. Static, don't start none, won't be none. Right? That Barboncito guy, man, when you talk to him in prayer, he's worth waiting for. Him and Manuelito, I see why they're like this. They see things differently, and everybody, Manuelito's, he's this big sweetheart, and he's a sucker, and Barboncito don't take no shit. And sometimes it's like good cop, bad cop. You need that. You need Manuelito to say, well, let me see what I can do, and see if I can. And then Barboncito goes, okay, but then once he gets to there, take Ingram out the game. We're in Las Vegas playing basketball. We need lots of money. No, just kidding. He's laughing. Okay, I can make Barboncito laugh. Yeah. But what are you talking about? He gets it. He watches the Mexican news. Magic Johnson, goal! It's the funniest thing you've ever heard when you listen to Mexican sportscast. Magic Johnson, es gol. It's Pedro. Magic Johnson, Tom Brady, and it's hilarious, man. Yeah. Patriots Super Bowl. Oh man. Earl, you're obnoxious. Well, yes, I am. Sometimes, when we need humor and we need to laugh through this shit like Tupac 101, it's, sarcasm and obnoxious through sarcasm to have a good time because we're living the Lord's Prayer and we're sustaining the faith of the truth of our existence through the wisdom of Proverbs. Muhammad told me that, and I trust him. We'll have lots of fun. And laughter is good for the body. Okay? It's like medicine for the mind, so it's not solitary confinement for the soul, right? Deep, 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 do, 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 do. One more time. Okay. I hear tell you're doing well. Good things have come to you. I wish I had your good luck charm and you had a do, whack-a-do, 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 whack-a-do. All right. I love you guys very much. What you pray for your brother, you yourself will receive. Okay. That's why I focus. DT Suzuki, you focus. You see a weed, see it, pull it, cut it, which we did today. You live in embodiment of Lord's Prayer, you focus. You don't think about their money. You don't think about fighting over their money. You don't think about any invention ideas to make sure they maintain the world through their economy and their money. They're destroying the world. Go underground, young man. People don't make the world go around. Gravity does. And it's time you understand the gravity. Oops, there goes gravity, the gravity of the situation. Right? Right. All right? You don't know me. Okay? No Tecmo Bowl around here. I don't know. Okay? I'm the hot stepper. I'm the original OG. Yeah. The original man of faith in God. No gangster here. Nope. Gangstar? I don't have a gang. I have people. Todas es mi familia, ¿sí? Cero. Okay, guys, I love you. Te amo. Te amo, te amo. Okay. You know how much I love you. And if you don't know how much I love you, maybe one day you'll stop trying to be lucky and you'll learn how to love. Okay, guys? I'll see how my luck holds out. Okay, I'm just kidding around. Okay, it's still holding out. Shit, we suck again. Wake her ass up. We want to live love of the Lord's Prayer tomorrow. Yeah, winning? Fuck that shit. We don't want to be Tiger Woods and his daddy on SportsCenter. Money's fake and so are women that require it to have sex. There you go. Don't do that. It hurts when I do that. Then don't do that. Then you'll be hurt a lot less. And then even when you're not... when you're sitting there going, hello, walls, hello. How things go, you won't be that way. You won't be extorted, exploited, and manipulated and studied like you're a rat in a lab. So you'll be able to get up, you'll be able to go talk with a friend, hang out. Next thing you know, you'll be walking around, someone will come to you and say, hello. And you'll say, one enchanted evening, and it'll happen. Okay? Be right place, right time. And Dr. John won't have to be singing songs to pay his bills. Sounds like a settlement. And let's settle down. And let's submit to faith and glory and grace. Don't be a disgrace. All right, love you. Okay, guys. Rhyming is serious. It's very serious. All right, peace out, man.